556-6764.
Is your credit on life support? Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. Local bank representatives will be on site to grant special approval to consumers who meet certain minimum criteria. If you have a job bringing home $350 weekly, the credit clinic at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach wants to approve you so you can drive home your new Kia today. Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. Hello, is this thing on? I repeat, Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. If you have a job bringing home $350 weekly, the credit clinic wants to approve you for a new Kia today. So what are you waiting for? Don't miss the credit clinic today and tomorrow at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Call 800-NEW-KIAs or go online at greenwaykiawestpalmbeach.com.
We want to see you in a Greenway Kia.
Credit affects down payment and approval term.
Hi, I'm Michael Manzo, owner and founder of Manzo's Italian Deli, and
Stop, Dad. After 20 years, people are tired of hearing your voice.
Yeah, and your lame-ass commercials.
Fresh prosciutto, mozzarella, outstanding.
Oh, please.
There's only one reason Manzo's is voted #1 deli in Palm Beach County for 20 years. Our mother.
She makes sure you prepare everything from scratch using only the freshest ingredients.
Manzo's Italian Deli is located on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, right next to Rain Dancers.
Is that a strip club?
No, it's a steakhouse. Manzo's is open weekdays from 8 to 5 and offers free delivery. So stop by or call 697-9411. That's 697-9411.
we also specialize in hot and cold catering for corporate functions and special events.
Just ask anyone who was at my last birthday party.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Well, the Miami Heat played in the playoffs last night, and Jimmy Butler had 27 points in a win. What's not to love?
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell it.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
Good heap. It's your boy Theo Dorsey. There was postseason action across the nation last night, not just in the Stanley Cup playoffs, which saw our hometown Cats, Florida Panthers, down 2-1 late in the third period, scoring 3 unanswered, pulling away with a win. They're up 3-1 in their series over the Lightning. Congrats to them. I love that for them. Big ups on the ice. We'll see if they can seal the deal on the road. Oh, also, the Golden State Warriors. It feels like whenever they're matched up with the Rockets in the opening round or in the Western Conference playoffs in general, they come out on top, and that's what they proved to do yet again. Now they're up 3-1 after 27 from a banged-up Jimmy Butler. They get the win over the Rockets. They get a chance to actually seal the deal back in the Bay after getting a couple of them in Houston. The first one without Jimmy Butler. The second one, they wouldn't have done it without him. And then there was another playoff game that happened last night. And Seacats on the other side of the glass on the ones and the twos. It's a top 5 Tuesday. And speaking of top 5, Seacat, before we get into this Heat crap, and we got to hit some heat, we hear Eli Manning is going to likely also end up being an NFL owner at some point. It looks like he's working his way towards brokering a deal. Right? It's that kind of a day. We also find out the NBA playoffs are a soaring high right now. ESPN reporting some very high numbers. All of that's going to get attacked here on the Top 5 Tuesday on Theoretically Speaking. But first and foremost, the business end of things. Seacats on the other side of the ones and twos against the glass. I screwed it up. Can I start over?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Rewind.
Right. This never happened. That part never happened. Seacat is on the other side of the glass on the ones and the twos. And speaking of a Top 5 Tuesday, you were top 5 at the go-kart races this morning.
Listen, we don't want to spoil anything because we have a great video coming out in the future at some point on YouTube. youtube.com/@ESPN West Palm. Just type in ESPN West Palm. You'll find it.
You'll find us.
You do not want to miss that video. It's going to be very, very exciting, exhilarating, and funny.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
Don't spoil.
C-Cat was in the race. I was in the race. Colin Russo was in the race. Our guy, Cade Shumslin from ESPN West Palm Play, as well as the Sunday Huddle, he also was in the race. So it was most of the ESPN West Palm on-air personalities, plus a professional, our guy Jeremy, who races some F4. So obviously, people are going to assume that this is not a spoiler to say that the pro won.
All right, well, you did say it, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's a spoiler or not.
It's not a spoiler to say that he might have had a better shot than us of winning, but I will say outside of that, I'll leave it to your imaginations to assume who would have won that race. And again, you're smart people. You can get it. C-Cat, here's the thing, though. I don't want to talk about winning right now because I don't want to take a victory lap based on what happened with the Miami Heat last night. I'm still a little bit sore from it. I still am absolutely embarrassed. I'm a little distraught. I feel like we got the worst of both worlds here, and I'm not taking a victory lap, but I will take apologies. I will take apologies from other Heat fans, as it felt like a little bit of Malcolm X / Martin Luther King effect thing going on. We all want the same end goal for the Miami Heat, and that is for them to be contending for championships in the near future, right? But oftentimes I find myself at odds with other Miami Heat fans because they have this blind optimism and a silly approach to what they think would be best for the Miami Heat. Right? Like, I remember after a couple of years of the Tyler Hero experience, banging the table that they should try and move this guy, not because he's a bad player, but because his ceiling is not that of the kind of guy you can actually build a team around as like a number one option. His ceiling was low enough that I felt comfortable moving him for a 1A star, a guy that can be primary ball handler, primary scorer, and an offense that you can build some things around. C-Cat, I'm not sure if you saw the final score of Cavs Heat last night.
I saw like the third quarter score, and that was kind of enough. I saw a number that was in the 70s at some point and another number that was in the 30s.
Right.
And it wasn't in Miami's favor, so I did not see the final score.
If you want to know how bad it got last night, Game 4 of Cavs Heat, at one point, Kenny Atkinson, head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, saw a play he didn't like. He felt like the officials got some things wrong here. He calls for a coach's challenge, which a coach is more than in his own rights to do. Calls for a coach's challenge to get something reversed. He didn't like what the call was. The Cavs were up 45, C-Cat. The Cavaliers were beating the Heat by 45 points at Kaseya Center in Miami, and Kenny Atkinson, head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, called for a challenge to make sure the refs got things right. Not only did he win that coach's challenge, they also it helped them extend the lead because they were up 45 at that point. They go on to win by 50. That's embarrassing.
There was every reason for the Cavaliers to take their foot off the gas pedal going into last night's game. Everyone knows about the Miami flu, the Miami flu's got to make you even more vulnerable when you're up 3-0 and you're a top seed in that conference. And was it more Cavs good or Heat bad with how historically lopsided that series was?
It's a mix of both. Now, what I'll say is the Cavaliers were just sound from front to back. It's funny because Darius Garland, their number 2 option on offense, and a guy who is obviously a 2-time All-Star, really prolific offensive player. He's a bit of a liability on defense. He and Tyler Hero got into a little bit of a back and forth midway through the series where they asked Garland, who coming out of college, I think he went to Vanderbilt, coming out of college, people out of Nashville in the Tennessee area used to call him the point guard. He was supposed to be the heir apparent to Chris Paul. He hasn't lived up to that, but he has been extremely good for the Cavs. He said the key to the Cavs' offensive structure and the way that they're able to get buckets when they want to is targeting Tyler Hero, which is correct, but it's also a little bit uncalled for when you're only up 2-0 in a series and it's against a team like the Miami Heat who are supposed to be playing with pride, right? Like you would expect players to have a little bit more couth.
And yeah, I don't think it's being regionally biased by saying the Heat are known. They have a reputation for being a scrappier low seed than some other teams that you might find in the 6, 7, 8 range.
Not only is this the first time ever that a team has made it out of the 10 seed and won 2 play-in games on the road to make the playoffs. The Heat are the only team to ever reach the NBA Finals from the play-in. They did that a few years ago when they got mollywopped by the Nuggets. But this time around, they make it into the NBA playoffs. They make it to the first round, and they get mollywopped instantly by a Cavaliers team that not only swept them, but it was the widest margin of victory in the history of the NBA postseason. 122 points separated the Heat and the Cavs. 4 games, 122 points, including getting outscored by 92 points on your home floor.
That doesn't feel possible.
It is.
What?
Michelle Smallman is confused.
We're kind of past the era of super teams, too.
Yes, this is not a super team. The Cavs are not a super team.
Like, that would make sense. An early Warriors first round or an early Heatles first round matchup for us to be that lopsided. It defies the laws of physics.
You know what also would make sense? The guy that you target on defense to get your buckets, it would make sense if that guy at least made up for the difference by being a threat on offense, right? That's the reason why you do the whole thing. That's the reason why Luka Doncic could work. That's the reason why Dirk Nowitzki was a good guy for the Mavericks, and they were able to build around him and win a championship because though you target him on defense, Steph Curry, he gives you the equal but opposite production on offense. Or at least, hopefully better. You would hope for it to be better. Do you want me to read off Tyler Hero's stat line?
Hey, it must have been real good because he entered this first-round playoff series with the wind at his sails.
Yep.
I was watching that second play-in game against the Bulls with you. Oh, he was nasty.
Tyler Hero, 30 minutes on the court last night in the 138-83 loss.
83 points. He had to have had at least half the points.
Yeah. Tyler Hero, 1 for 10 from the floor. He shot 10% from the field.
They hack him?
Had to have, right? 1 for 9 from 3, by the way. So 9 of his shots came from outside of the that means he got 1 shot within the arc, which means he was getting absolutely no penetration to go along with missing all of his shots.
It's like AAU.
1 for 2 from the free throw line. He did get to the line once. He split.
Oh, no.
So 50% from the line. He had 1 rebound. He had 1 singular assist. And he ended the game with 4 points. That was Tyler Hero's stat line. He had 3 fouls. He had more fouls than he had assists and rebounds combined. 4 points, 3 fouls, 1 assist, 1 for 9 from 3, 1 for 10 from the floor. That is our number 1 option on offense. Tyler Hero, the guy that you told me 3 years ago we should never trade because he has a ceiling of an all-star player. He was an all-star this year. And this isn't a criticism of Tyler Hero right now. This is not Mad Heat fan waving the torch and the picket fence at Tyler Hero because I actually can appreciate what he's become. I think he has fulfilled everything that I knew Hero could be. He came into the season with the right mindset. He did average 24 a game and became an all-star for a reason. The dude is really, really, really good. He is not and will never be a number 1 option on a playoff team. It just doesn't work. He's too much of a minus on defense to have as many flaws as he has on offense. There is a clear-cut way to stop him, and that was proven out last night as he went backs against the wall. Elimination game for the Heat. And not only do you get embarrassed, you get ran off your floor before the damn game barely was even tipped off. It was like 35-8 at one point in the first quarter.
Yeah, at this point, going into last night, the series was over.
Yeah.
But there was something about pride, something about going out on a higher note.
Give me something.
Anything to kind of show some respect to the fans.
You're at home.
Or to show yourself and your own brand some respect as a Heat player. There's a different standard in South Beach.
So this is not a Tyler Hero. This is not a pour water on Tyler Hero and talk down on him because I don't think it's his fault. It's the Miami Heat's fault for miscasting a guy in a role that he never should have been in the first place. I'm not going to blame the toddler for knocking the vase off of the damn nightstand. I blame myself for leaving the toddler unattended in the room with a very expensive vase in there.
So who's you in this situation?
So
who left this baby unattended?
You know who did it? Pat Riley, the Silver Fox. You know who did it? Eric Spoelstra, Mickey Arison, who continued to pump the rhetoric that the Heat could win with this as its core. And you know who else also did it? And this is why I said today I'm not taking a victory lap on the Miami Heat as we give out this Heat eulogy after an embarrassing loss in the first round to the Cavaliers, one season after we got absolutely demolished by the Boston Celtics, in 2 different postseasons where, as they made the play-in tournament, I said it out loud right here on these airwaves. Everyone ridiculed me for it. The Miami Heat would be better off if they missed the playoffs and fell out of the play-in. They would be better off in the lottery than they would have been giving us that historic performance in the opposite direction. We used to be a proud franchise. Heat culture used to actually stand for something. And I hear the quotes after the game from Eric Spoelstra, from Bam Adebayo, and Tyler Hero talking about how the energy coming back from Cleveland to Miami was so much different. They had the competitiveness coursing through their veins. They were so pumped and ready to return to action and give themselves a shot to maybe even this series at 2-2 or do what they did last year against the Celtics and still won and make the Cavs sweat a little bit. But they were absolutely uninterested in playing basketball last night, C-Cat. That was a quitting effort. You got on Inside the NBA, you got Chuck, Kenny, and Shaq, Ernie even joining in on it, making an absolute mockery of what this team and franchise is right now because they were just so abysmal, and it you could tell they didn't care about the results. That was bad.
So this is my ignorance speaking.
I can't.
Is there anything that the Heat players, coaches stand to gain apart from reputation and putting a good product on television by extending this series to 5 games?
No.
Or is it just kind of getting less pay per hour by playing Game 5?
No, the Heat, this is why I said it, and this is why I said I'm not taking a victory lap today, but I will take apologies from other Heat fans. The Miami Heat, they made the biggest mistake, and the Miami Heat made the biggest mistake when they gave that all-out effort, finally pulled out all the stops after losing to the Bulls every single time that it mattered in the regular season, beating them in the opening play-in game, and then going on the road and beating the Atlanta Hawks. The Heat had a prime opportunity to potentially get a top 4 pick, or at the very least, a lottery pick this year in a draft where they already were going to have the Warriors pick. So we could be shifting into an offseason where the Miami Heat have not just the number 20 overall pick in the first round from the Warriors, but best case scenario, a top 4 pick. Worst case scenario, a lottery pick to pair with that. And either you're getting yourself 2 young prospects that Spo and the gang can pour that Heat culture juice on and create something out of, right? So either you get 2 new injections of talent, and they've been great in the middle of the rounds. Tyler Hero was a 14, 15 overall pick. Bam Adebayo, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Nikola Jovic. Most of the best players for the Heat right now have been picked in the middle of the round because, damn it, we have been meddling in mediocrity for the past 5, 6, 7 years outside of the peaks that came with Jimmy Butler. I think people get lost in the sauce and start to forget where they came from, where they got it from. The Heat are nothing without Dwayne Wade. The Heat are nothing without the prowess of Jimmy Butler, and that showed last night where the Heat got swept off the floor by a Cavs team whose best player was Donovan Mitchell, and this is no shot to Spider, but get the hell out of here. You should not be getting done that dirty on your home court by a team that's led by Donovan Mitchell if you're this proud of a franchise with the best coach in the game. And directly afterwards, you watch Jimmy Butler muscle through a hip pointer or whatever he has, whatever injury he's suffering through, muscle through for the Warriors, find possessions, find good shots, and made great plays when it came to passing the ball as well on possessions where Curry was getting face guarded from the front to the end. He proved why that pickup for the Warriors so essential. And they have a great chance right now. It's them or the Timberwolves. They have a great chance right now in the second round to really make some hay. But again, the straw that stirs the drink in the NBA is the superstar. You need a 1A. You need a alpha. You need a person that can be a fulcrum of your offense and is not a liability on defense. Tyler Hero isn't that. He's going to be eligible this offseason for a 3-year, $150 million deal. I'm curious what the Heat are going to do with that. We've also realized that Bam Adebayo, who is, again, these are guys that are essential to what the Heat have been over the past 5 or 6 years. It's not a criticism of them. They are miscast. They need a star, and they don't have one right now, which is why they should have missed the playoffs. Bam had 13 and 12. Elimination game, 13 points on 13 shots, going up against a big front line. I'm not even going to get mad about that. What I am going to get angry about is the fact that Heat fans have been talking themselves into circles for years. And I thought we had an escape route. I thought this year would be a good chance. And what is supposed to be a very packed top-heavy NBA draft. The Heat almost had 2 premium picks. They could have either used those 2 picks to trade up. They could use those 2 picks this offseason to also move them in order to acquire a star. And today is a Top 5 Tuesday, C-Cat, so I will be giving later on in the show my top 5 NBA offseason targets for the Miami Heat. I do believe there could be something we're able to extract from what was one of the more embarrassing runs the Heat have been a part of. But in a season defined by the departure and the ugly breakup of Jimmy Butler, defined by yet another abysmal playoff series by Tyler Hero, where he has now further driven down his trade value and also proven to the Heat that we'd be in a better situation if he was the 2 or the 3 option. And this is coming from a guy, C-Cat, we loved the Tyler Hero interview on Heat Media Day. We love the new focus he has, and I also think he could be a promising second or third option on the team. Do I feel like, am I being too critical of what Hero gives the Heat based off what I saw last night?
Well, when you're the number 1 option outside of the paint on the Miami Heat, and you put that egg up
4
on
points.
a winner-go-home game,
1%.
I think you're open for all criticism.
Okay, just making sure I wasn't tripping. So now the question begs, where do you go from here if you're the Heat? The Cavs, they get to go to the second round. The Heat, well, they get to go home. And it looks like before the game even tipped off, they were ready to go home anyway. It was absolutely embarrassing. They should be embarrassed, but not only embarrassed, all of them should feel insecure in their spots right now. That's the point I'm about to make right now. As the Heat look to shift forward towards what this franchise is going to do next, this is a huge offseason for Miami. There has to be some pivotal changes. Nobody should feel safe. And when I say nobody, I also mean the very man who got in front of the podium last night following the loss, Bam Adebayo, 6 for 13, 13 points, 12 boards, absolute non-factor because the game didn't even matter anyways. Here's Bam talking about what the Heat might do next and about how all options are likely on the table. But I just want you all to know that are listening to Theoretically Speaking right now, as well as Bam Adebayo himself, he shouldn't even feel as secure in his spot.
What do you think needs to change?
What needs to change? I don't know. It's going to be a lot of changes this summer. Just from my point of view, understanding how, the guy with the silver hair works. So just be prepared for that. And, for me, man, it's understanding gotta figure out how to win a game in the playoffs. You understand how hard it is when you actually get into these trenches. So you take that and you figure it out.
Game 3 was a franchise record loss for the Heat when they lost by 37. Somehow, they extended that record to a 55-point loss in an elimination game that is going to go down as, again, one of the prime examples of this team quit. I remember a few years ago it was the Phoenix Suns that had a game where they clearly quit against the Mavericks. I believe that was the Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton Suns. By halftime, it was like a 50 ball. They did make it a little bit more respectable. But again, these kind of lopsided losses in the playoffs, this is the kind of stuff that defines like the bad franchises, the ones that have a lot of turmoil, the ones that have a lot of turnover, the ones that don't have the very word that Miami defines itself by, and that's culture. I didn't expect this, C-Cat. Even before I said that they should not make the playoffs, and all the Heat fans were like, no, we should make it. We should get in there and get feisty with the Cavs. I said the Heat shouldn't do it. They should get the 2 lottery picks. They should make this summer the turnaround year because that would mean next year they would not have their pick, and that's a good thing because, well, they wouldn't need it because they would have a really good team and they would have a chance to compete for a title next year. I wanted them to go all in this offseason, which would mean punting on this year. Instead, they went all in on a mediocre roster this year, got absolutely demolished by the Cavaliers to a record-setting performance, and on top of that, there's nowhere to look, nowhere to go if you're thinking about any kind of optimism on the other side. What are we supposed to do here? And should Bam be available? That's my thing. Bam Adebayo is great. We're going to talk about what Dwayne Wade said about him, C-Cat, but I'm starting to lean on the side of he might be a guy that you should consider moving on from, not because he's not good enough, but because I want them to move out of mediocrity. The Heat right now are like the Steelers of the NBA. They ain't got no franchise quarterback. Bam has not proven himself to be that right now. He just hasn't.
Which fan bases in the NBA right now feel worse about the team they love than the Heat? I think there's one with the Dallas Mavericks. Everyone can hands down agree that might be the most sympathetic fan base in sports right now, let alone the NBA. Is there anyone else that right now feels worse because of expectations and what they're accustomed to versus what we saw take place these last 4 games?
Let's keep it to the respectable franchises. Let's keep it to the franchises that actually the fan base has an expectation. Right? Yeah. The Mavericks would count. That counts. They are a team that was in the Western Conference Finals last year. They are a team that has competed at the highest of levels. They won a championship in the past couple of decades. They matter in a strong way. I wonder if the Phoenix Suns fans don't feel a little bit more miserable than the Heat. Because at the very least, with the Suns, you not only have no clue what the hell Matt Ishbia is going to call for to happen next as a new owner, you also are about to get rid of your best player, potentially, in Devin Booker, or your second best player, and you can't get rid of the one guy that's holding you back in Brad Beal. You're kind of in purgatory for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up their owner because I believe it was maybe 2 weeks ago where he said, there are about 28 different franchises that would swap sides with us right now with all of our personnel, that we are in a win now, win championships now mode, which feels very disingenuous. And it's along the same line that you're talking with the Heat, believing that who was on the court last night wearing white thought they could compete for championships, and that feels like denial. But the Suns are in a different level of that.
They're in a totally different boat. They also don't necessarily have proof in the pudding of being able to attract guys in the offseason as free agents at the level that the Heat have been able to do in the past. We'll see. KD chose to go there. Brad Beal really had no choice in the matter because, honestly, it was hang out in D.C. or go to Phoenix and act like I'm going to want to contend. He ended up in Phoenix by proxy. Or not by proxy, but by default. I don't know if there's too many teams outside of the Suns and the Heat that feel this level of despair, but the difference is the Heat do have a way out. They've got the number 20 pick in this draft. They'll own their pick in the next season's draft, so that means that next year, This is why I was rooting for them to tank out of the play-in this season. Next year, it's most advantageous if the Heat want to get their franchise quarterback. If they want to get their Cade Cunningham, their Anthony Edwards, for better or worse, Ja Morant, if they want to get the fulcrum of their team, the future face of their franchise in the draft, you can only do that in the top 5, top 10. I believe next year it would probably be best for the Heat to not go all in this offseason, but to roll this same team back out there, see what happens, and likely fall back into the lottery and have a shot at a capital G guy that can carry this franchise. Now, again, they're not going to do that because Pat can't stand another year of losing. Eric Spoelstra is too damn good of a coach, just like Mike Tomlin with the Steelers, to end up with a high enough pick to get that franchise quarterback. So most likely scenario is we're right back at this same place again next year. The Heat in the play-in, they play their way into the playoffs, and they lose to the eventual Eastern Conference champion in 4 or 5 games. This is a perpetual situation that the Heat have positioned themselves to be in. And while we applauded when Jimmy Butler got traded, we forgot, and this is the very reason why I didn't celebrate it, and I've been steadfast on this since when Jimmy became available through the trade. We forgot that Heat culture means nothing if it's not driven by a star. It just don't matter. It will not matter. I know the Heat had hot shooting in 2023 when they went from the play-in to the finals, but that hot shooting means nothing if you don't have a guy that you can throw the ball to and say, we need 40 tonight. We need 40 tonight. We also need you to stop that guy from getting 40. That was Jimmy. That was Dwayne Wade. That was LeBron James. Those kind of guys don't just pull up to your organization anyway how. You got to go and get them in the draft. And the only reason why you end up getting LeBron is because you went and got Wade at the top of the draft. And Bosh as well with him. I can't let him get lost in the sauce as much as Rich Paul and them are trying to discredit what he meant to the Big Three. Chris Bosh was a huge piece of that puzzle as well. I don't know, man. I'm infuriated. And with Bam Adebayo, I'm a little bit disheartened because I wanted him to be that next statue guy like Wade was alluding to. It doesn't feel like he'll ever get to that. I think we've seen the peak of his powers as well.
You alluded to him a couple of times with Jimmy Butler in recent history and what he did last night as well. How much different is this series result if Jimmy Butler is not only on the Heat roster, but bought in, and there is no rift between he and Riley, and it's a normal Jimmy Butler.
First of all, with full strength Jimmy Butler, if he played on this team this year and played through the playoffs, they're not in the play-in. They're likely a 6th seed. Let's just go through the hypothetical of Jimmy, was out or whatever, and he popped up and played on this very Heat team against the Cavs in this series.
Had a great conversation that smoothed over any second guesses about his commitment to the Heat, and now he's full in with Miami.
This series will be going 6 at least.
Really?
This series will be going 6 at least.
2-game difference.
Yes.
This is the most lopsided series of all time.
Yes.
And you think that man, Jimmy Butler, who's probably not a top 7 player in the NBA right now?
No, but in the playoffs he is. And that's the difference. It's playoff basketball. Playoff Jimmy is a real thing. Last night on a bum leg, the dude dropped 27 and was the most important player for the Warriors in a game they needed in Houston. Also, last night when the Miami Heat could not seem to get a stop or a bucket, you know who would have been able to calm those waters? Jimmy Butler. Because Tyler Hero was a net negative on both ends. Like Pele Larson loved the guy. He's not giving you as much. He got a couple step-back threes in the first quarter so it wouldn't look miserable. But he's not the kind of guy that stirs the drink. Like, Jimmy Butler means so much to not just the motivation of the squad that the Heat were in the past 5.5 years under his leadership, but also his stability on defense. You could put him on their primary ball handler and shut down the whole flow of their offense. You also can give him the ball on the wing and create so much pressure for the defense who are trying to guard him. Like, Tyler Hero doesn't go 1 for 10 in a game where he's playing lockstep with Jimmy Butler. It just doesn't happen.
So it's not just the points that Jimmy scores, it's the positive impact he makes for everyone around him.
Stars matter. And the Heat don't have one. And until they get one, they're going to be miserable. They're going to be stuck in mediocrity, and they'll never be bad enough to get a top pick, but they'll never be good enough to compete for a championship. And that is the curse of being led by an extremely great coach in a great organization. What does that sound like? Oh, damn. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Which is not a bad place to be. You got the championships in your rear view that you can always call back to and brag about. You got the best coach in the game, Tomlin, Spoelstra, but you don't have a franchise QB. You got a bunch of guys around them. Like Bam Adebayo would be like TJ Watt.
I will say Spo is probably he's better at what he does than Tomlin is at what he does, because when you give the talent to Spoelstra, it results in championships.
We haven't seen Tomlin with a franchise quarterback since like 2015.
He should have been in multiple Super Bowls with the Steelers at the height of Ben Roethlisberger, because that was Antonio Brown, that was Le'Veon Bell. He should have done a little bit more when he was given that much talent.
A lot of people should have did a lot in the AFC back then, but who was Tom Brady? Yeah. So
you're going to give us later on in the show the top five off-season targets. Does that mean free agents exclusively or trade targets too?
Yeah, no. This is going to be trade and free agent targets, so everything is on the table. I'll leave out the draft prospects because the Heat are not going to be able to move up in the draft because they only got one pick. So top 5 Tuesdays here on Theoretically Speaking. I'll give you the top 5 targets for the Heat that they should seek out this offseason. We also have a bunch of NFL talk to get to, as well as a little Stanley Cup playoff action. Congrats to the Cats. I do want to keep things positive here. I don't want it to be all, depressing. But that's what last night was. It was the cap of a very depressing year. 37 wins. You get swept in the playoffs, and it's the widest margin of defeat in the history of the postseason. Congrats though, Miami Heat. You won the damn play-in. Greatest play-in team of all time.
At least there's more money in the paychecks of the players, right, when you make the playoffs.
I am happy for them. Good job. You cashed in. That's another thing for me. I'm always happier for the players in general. And, a lot of people don't actually root for that. I'm happy they got a little Skrilla. So congrats. I hope they I guess they'll help pay off their taxes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, during the break, I'm going to look up the exact playoff bonuses these players got to see if it was worth it, because they got so much money.
I think it's like $250,000 or something. Look it up. Miami Heat fans, how you feeling today? One word to describe how you feel about this season. Let me know. 888-760-3776. Also, who would you like to see the Heat grab this offseason to make things right? 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. Call into the Baptist Health Hotline or comment on the YouTube chat at ESPN West Palm. Heat fans, time is now. Speak up. Who you want? And one word to describe this season to me: embarrassing. Predictable, but embarrassing. 888-760-3776. Give us a call. Are you experiencing foot and ankle pain and need to see an expert in the field? Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has a team of foot and ankle, orthopedic surgeons, and specialists who are regarded as leaders in their specialty. Visit BaptistHealth.net/ortho to learn more today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care, well, as you may know, it combines its resource of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit BaptistHealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting BaptistHealth.net/ortho. The Heat, absolutely depressing season. Cannot believe it. But I'll be rooting for Jimmy Butler and the Warriors to make some noise in the postseason. That's CCAT. I'm Theo Dorsey. More on the Heat, plus some NFL talk on the other side. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
It's Work Zone Awareness Week, Florida. Every year, lives are lost in work zones because of speeding and distractions. When you see orange cones, remember, slow down, follow the signs, and stay focused. Workers are counting on you to get home safely, and so are their families. Let's work together to prevent crashes and save lives. A safety reminder from the Florida Department of Transportation. Slow your roll, safety's the goal.
Wake up with Unsportsmanlike. I should be in the Palm Beach County Sports Hall of Fame. I did 20 years of sports radio when there was no sports radio station in that market.
The guy that got you off of the radio station is who they actually put in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if you knew this,
Yeah, Steve, he's in the Hall. You're right about that.
He is?
Yes, he's right about that. The one who took me off the air.
He's in there.
The guy that got him off the airways in South Florida. Let's put that guy in the Hall of Fame.
That's unreal.
Unsportsmanlike with me, Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman. Live weekdays 6 to 10 on ESPN 106.3.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami FC on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
This Mother's Day, give Mom a gift with endless possibilities. Give her a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach. The Breakers gift card lets you treat Mom to all the things she loves, like irresistible oceanfront getaways, lessons at the Breakers' new golf and racket club, pampering at the exquisite spa, and shopping at the resort's stylish collection of boutiques. Gift cards may also be used for dining at the Breakers' renowned restaurants and bars, including Echo, Henry's Palm Beach, HMF, and Flagler Steakhouse. And now, for a limited time, when you purchase a $500 gift card online at thebreakers.com, you'll receive an additional $50 on that card, compliments of the Breakers. You can never repay Mom for all she's done, but a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach is a great way to start. Visit thebreakers.com today.
It's the Hard Rock Bet Battle of the Bets. 2 bets facing off. Winning side splits $250K in bonus bets every single day. Time to pick a side. Team underdogs or team favorites. Team over or team under. There's one way to settle this. Hard Rock Bet Battle of the Bets. Pick a side for $1. Win your share of $250K or more today. Prize pool to be paid out in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
In South Florida, when it's time to get back in the game, there's a name you need to know. HSS Florida. HSS ranked number 1 in orthopedics for 15 years in a row by U.S. News and World Report. HSS brings world-class care to Palm Beach and Wellington. Whether it's a joint replacement, sports injury, or orthopedic trauma, HSS Florida treats athletes of all ages. Visit hss.edu/Florida to schedule your consultation today. HSS Florida, where champions and everyday people alike get the care they need to stay at the top of their game.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
This is a pretty telling year on how the Heat are going to look. This is going to be a very telling offseason. It's pivotal right now. It's dire, if you will. You know, Eric Spoelstra's this was his 17th season as the head coach of the Miami Heat. 17. Doesn't feel that long, huh?
He coached Shaq.
I guess it kind of, I mean, yeah, he started in 08. 17 years of Spoelstra. You want to know how many times he missed the playoffs?
I'm going to say 2.
3. Just 3.
All right.
2015, which was the year after LeBron. 2017, and then 2019. So this is a Heat team that has had sustained success. He is one of the strongest coaches, if not the number 1 coach in the NBA. And Spo will never have his job security in question as long as he's on the bench with the Miami Heat. He's proven himself time after time. He worked his way all the way up from the bottom there in the organization, and he's a Heat lifer. I don't know if I can say the same for anybody on the current roster. And again, this comes with a caveat, though, C-Cat. I am not saying that Bam Adebayo should be shopped. I am just saying there is one name, one individual guy who I would be willing to part ways with Bam for if he's made available. We are going to get to that. My top 5 Miami Heat trade targets here on Theoretically Speaking on a top 5 Tuesday. Before we do, how about something that's exciting and fun that's coming to South Florida? We're going to talk about the top, targets for the Heat that are going to come to South Florida. How about something fun that's here this weekend?
At least we'll be surrounded by winners where we go to this event. Not like you're in the Kaseya Center.
Not like that at all. It's 2025 Formula One Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix is here, and I don't want you to miss out. I want you to be able to cruise the campus, explore the circuit, and experience F1 in Miami like never before. Immerse yourself in the action all weekend long with unparalleled access to different campus zones. Enjoy thrilling activities, live entertainment, and endless food and beverage options while also witnessing the race from multiple angles. For less than $150 a day, you can secure your campus pass right now. Tickets, like the cars, are going fast, so visit F1MiamiGP.com. You can explore your ticket options and secure your spot at the 2025 Formula One Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix. The race, that's an experience. F1MiamiGP.com. Get your tickets. Pull up. It's going to be a good time this weekend. Hard Rock Stadium. Yeah, C-Cat. It's tough. It's tough right now as a Heat fan.
Yeah, because you are
Rightfully
accustomed to a certain standard of basketball.
Yeah.
Which is good when that standard is a playoff team, but it's bad when it's historically incompetent, historically embarrassed playoff team.
For those just tuning in, last night's sweep of the Heat, 4 games, and they're done. A 122-point differential, the largest margin of victory in the history of the NBA's postseason. And them losing by 55 last night at home and being outscored by 92 total in their 2 games at home and against the Cavs also will right on the precipice of history. So, historical beating. On Inside the NBA, Kenny Smith compared what happened to the Heat to like in the Kung Fu movie when the main character like walks in the room and just starts whooping ass. Just starts whooping everybody's ass.
So there's a nameless background character who has his arm broken?
Yes, we're one of the henchmen. One of the henchmen that dies like immediately.
Okay. We're one of the extras in John Wick.
Yeah,
but he beats everybody up so that there's too many to mention.
So the thing about it is, so we're the extra in John Wick though, that like that scene itself is just a little bit longer, a little bit drawn out, right? The way that he kills this henchman, not that the henchman is getting anyone up on him, right? It's an absolute destruction. but it's a little bit more drawn out because you know how there's always like the henchman or the bodyguard that as soon as like John Wick or insert main character here walks in the room, it's just boom and he's done, he drops. That wasn't the Heat. The Heat was the guy that like he hits him in the shoulder, and then the guy's grabbing for his shoulder, and then he gives him a knee right to the chin, and then he's all banged up, right? Then he grabs him by like the neck and carries him around as he walks through the room, massacring everybody else.
And then he used him as a human shield.
As a human meat shield. That's what the Heat were, a human meat shield. And they just dragged them all through the room. The Cavaliers, Kenny Atkinson calling challenges up 45 points. How about Donovan Mitchell just dancing on whoever the hell is in front of him? How about Evan Mobley having his way on both ends? Pele Larson getting just absolutely just obliterated. Like, that was us. Human meat shield. And then at the end of it all, just like, oh, I forgot you were here. Boom. That's what last night was.
So we knew that this was going to be a lost series for the Heat, and you didn't want to be historically bested.
Stupid.
But is there kind of some peace in knowing that it's over?
No.
That we didn't have to pretend to be excited for a game. I did not want to see a Game 5.
No.
Are you kidding me? You wanted to see a Game 5?
No. I didn't want to see a Game 5. I didn't want to see a Game 1, a Game 2, a Game 3. I didn't want to see any of it. I'm not relieved that it's over. I am I'm embarrassed that it happened. Like, how about this? How about I just give you my top 5 Miami Heat targets for the offseason? That'll make me feel better.
Top five.
Top 5 Tuesday here on ESPN 106.3 on Theoretically Speaking. And thanks for the assist, Drake. Let's just get right into it. Top 5 targets the Heat should go after this offseason via trade or free agency. Let's start
number 5
with number 5, and that is Zion Williamson.
Whoa.
Yeah, the big fella. 24 years old with the New Orleans Pelicans. Obviously, nothing has worked out for him, but when Zion is healthy and somewhat in shape, he's one of the 10 best players in the league. He'll be available this offseason. The Heat can go and get him likely without giving up too many assets. That sets the roster back. The reason why I like the trade for Zion is, here's what I would do if I was the Heat. I would not trade this upcoming year's pick. But I would trade anybody in that locker room not named Bam Adebayo plus any other future draft picks or assets to bring Zion in. And you keep Khalil Ware, too. Keep Khalil Ware, keep Bam Adebayo. You have Zion Williamson, and you roll the dice. Tyler Hero's got to go. No shade. They likely are going to want him in New Orleans. Here's the reason why I would do this. If you're able to keep that pick next year, which will be extremely hard to pull off, but I believe in you, Mickey, you can actually set yourself up. If the Zion train goes poorly and he doesn't get in shape, I don't even think the shape or the health is the worst concern with Zion. I think it's his interest in women. He's going to get himself in some real serious trouble in South Beach if the kind of women that we saw him linked to publicly were a big enough distraction in New Orleans and Dallas, because apparently that's where he was traveling. South Beach is full of them.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough in Miami for Zion, but if you can keep him focused at 24 years old, get him in shape, keep him healthy, this is easy. It can either be great or it's going to be abysmal. And if it's bad, you keep your pick. You can draft at the top of the lottery next year.
Yeah, and it's important that you said 24 years old.
Yeah, he's so young.
That's how young he is, even though it seems like the casual basketball viewing audience has kind of given up. And it's kind of like, okay, remember when he was a bust? He's already considered a bust by many of people because you don't hear about him at all. Even though he was a prodigy. He was a one-man show at Duke. He was the next, quote, LeBron in terms of a player that was followed from high school to college, and it was the Zion sweepstakes for the NBA.
And it went absolutely like worst case scenario.
Yeah.
I don't think it could have been any worse, because the problem is if he bottoms out early, you can get off of him early, but he's been just good enough to keep the Pelicans holding on to hope, and so he's pretty much ruined the past 5 years for New Orleans. So why not let that be the Heat fate?
Number 4.
Number 4 is a little bit off the beaten track here, but Desmond Bane's going to be available this year. Desmond Bane from the Memphis Grizzlies. And the reason I say that is I would not give up a lot to get Bane, but what I would do is see if you can find a way to get Hero out the door and get Desmond Bane into the Heat locker room. He just feels like a Heat culture guy. Bane as a two-way guard, a sharpshooter, a plus defender, as well as a hard worker, a hustler, a sturdy dude, hard to move. Like, I would love to see him in a Heat uniform, and I do believe it's about that time in Memphis where they blow everything up. Bane should be available. You can't give up too much for him, but if you can find him on a bargain as Memphis looks to reset, Bring Bane in the house. I like it.
I appreciate the play style fit because doesn't it seem like this team lacked a little bit of grit?
Oh, man.
I liked how Mitchell looked. Davion Mitchell was fun to watch when he was on.
We got to keep Davion Mitchell, by the way.
Yeah, he brought that kind of just intangible grit that you almost saw with players like Lowry.
Yeah.
Like, sure, his efficiency could use some work, but he was a culture fit in certain ways.
Super culture fit. And also with him, like last night, it looked like everybody had given up and didn't care. Davion Mitchell's not that kind of guy. He doesn't have quit in his heart, which is supposed to be what is essential to Heat culture, which is what I expected from everybody, but you didn't get it. Keep Davion Mitchell. Get Desmond Bane in here.
Number 3.
Top 5 Heat targets this offseason as the season has come to a dreaded end. So I'm not going to be banging the drum for this to happen, but I would be in favor of it. Trae Young.
All right.
Trae Young.
We go. That's a weird turn from Bane to Young.
So the Heat haven't had like a playmaking guard like that for quite some time. A guy that you can like literally run your offense through, who can get lobs to Khalil Ware and Bam Adebayo, who also can create enough pressure on the defense to where they're afraid of his three-point shot from 30 feet out. He's an excellent passer. He's not always the most focused guy, but I think with Eric Spoelstra, you can probably find a way to get enough out of him. Plus, I trust Spo to be able to hide him on defense just as much as we're able to hide Tyler Hero, which ain't saying much, but at the very least, at least we know Trae is going to be good on the other end.
Likes being a villain, too.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
I think this team could use a villain.
Yeah, they could. And Trae Young could work. I don't want it all the way. That's why he's number 3 on this list, but I would appreciate them taking a swing for a guy like that who will be likely available. He's 24 and 11 last year? 24 and 11. I think he led the league in assists. That dude's good.
So is there a very steep uptick in interest in numbers 2 and 1 versus Trae Young at 3?
This is the cutoff. Like, this is like the Trae Young is the last of the people I would be like happy about, but not excited to watch in a Heat jersey. Now we get to the part of the list where like, oh my goodness, the engine is revving.
Number 2.
Number 2, Heat free agency / trade targets for this offseason. Kevin Durant, it's your next chapter, baby. Come on down to South Florida. This is what you do. You tried to make your own way in Brooklyn. You tried to make your own way in Phoenix. Why not go somewhere where the table is set and they can direct you to a championship? LeBron James did it when the Big Three formed back in the day. We taught him how to win. You've done it before when you went to Golden State and they taught you how to become a champion. One last rodeo, one last time in Miami. Plus, the way that Brian Windhorst, NBA insider for ESPN, has been talking about the availability of KD this summer as the Suns look to trade him and reset some things, it sounds like you might not have to give up too much to get him right now. Because the benefit of the Suns trading KD is to get themselves out of luxury tax hell and to unrestrict themselves from being able to make roster moves thanks to the new CBA and the new second apron rules. If they keep everybody all together, they're going to be past the second apron, missing the playoffs, and also unable to have any flexibility. The Suns might get out of KD at a bargain. Go get that dude.
I think table is set for him without, I think KD plus one of your requests, 3, 4, 5. No, it's KD with the current cast.
KD on this team would be a top 3 or 4 team in the East, and they would have a good chance to compete for a title. I would feel good about the Heat next year if it was KD with Bam, Khalil Ware. Maybe you do keep Tyler Hero, Davion Mitchell. You add something through the draft, like I think it could work.
And that brings us to number 1.
Number 1.
Top 5, no debating. Top 5.
It's a Top 5 Tuesday here. Top 5 Miami Heat trade / free agency destination, or excuse me, not destinations, but targets. And I think number 1 is clear, C-Cat. Now, for all the other guys on this list, again, 5 I had Zion Williamson, 4 Desmond Bane, 3 Trae Young, 2 was Kevin Durant. For all the other guys on the list, I would not be willing to part ways with Bam Adebayo. For this guy, I would say everybody and a mama is available. Hell, I might trade Eric Spoelstra for the dude. Bring me the Greek Freak. Give me Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'd hate to see the Bucks leave him, but I'd love to see him end up in a 3-4 in that Miami Heat uniform. Giannis is perfectly made to be the guy that is the heir apparent to what this past Heat run was. You get Giannis in your uniform. You're getting a guy that is an MVP candidate every single year, a guy that can be the best player in any series you step into, depending on how you scheme around him, what kind of talent you surround him with, but also just depending on how he's feeling that morning, because we've seen it before. Remember when he had a bum leg and he went 50 and 15 in the finals to clinch it out against the Suns? Like, give me that guy in a Heat uniform and elongate his career. I think he's still got 4 or 5 more dominant years in him, if not more, especially if he comes out to South Florida. Like, who says no? Probably the Bucks.
Yeah, so
we don't have
run by the realistic package to get Giannis in Miami.
So this is the thing. Bam Adebayo would have to be included. That's the issue. That's the issue there. I think you can keep Khalil Ware. You could probably find a way to keep Khalil Ware, but Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero likely have to go out the door along with many other future assets. It would be a deal centering around Bam. And why would you do it if you're the Bucks? Well, if Giannis demands a trade, you got to send them somewhere. I do think a Bam-centric package could end up being the most delectable. The question is, will the Heat ever part ways with Bam? He is supposed to be the heir apparent to Heat culture. He's supposed to be the guy that carries the torch into the next 5, 6, 7 years. And that's not me saying it. It's what the Heat front office have been telling us. It's what Dwayne Wade himself said when he had his statue unveiled to start this season off. Like, this is the only guy I would do it for, though, C-Cat. If we can get Giannis, you get rid of Bam. If not, Bam needs to stay put. He is essential to everything that the Miami Heat do, but I am willing to break my morals for Greeky Freaky. Am I tripping here?
Is that like do people say that?
Greeky Freaky? Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I've never heard that before.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Like the Greek Freak.
That's the Greek Freak. Greeky Freaky. When Greeky get freaky, man, like, what am I supposed to do? I'm a fan.
It's true.
I'm a fan.
He does have that bell at his house when he wants to have some intimate time with his wife.
He actually is a little freaky. I mean, outside of the nickname on the basketball court, but there it is. Top 5 of Miami Heat free agent destiny or free agent targets there. And specifically, I'll tell you what the Heat think about Bam Adebayo here on the other side, and if he would be made available, even if it was Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm still split on that. A lot of people that are closer to the organization would tell you they would say hell no to any deal involving him. He's off limits. I appreciate that they feel that way. I just don't necessarily feel the same. Mainly if it's Giannis involved. Outside of that, keep Bam in a Heat uniform. That's our guy. Culligan water. Culligan water.
Nothing like it.
Can't beat it. Can't beat it at all, man. I mean, this is the stuff that's transformed my household. Not just the drinking water we have, but also the water softener that I got installed, the reverse osmosis system that purifies both my drinking water and the ice in my freezer. This is transformative, like a generational star that you land in the draft. Culligan.com. When I went and got them to come through my house, test my water, show me the toxins, the pollutants, the pharmaceuticals that have gotten in, and again, look it up yourself. Florida has some of the worst water in America. I'm from Texas. I've lived in Georgia. I've lived in North Carolina. I've never lived in a place that without any kind of additives, without any kind of systems hooked up at your house, you are suffering so much from the poor water that is entering your home. Don't let it affect your family anymore. Do not let it affect yourself as well. Your health is your wealth. Culligan.com. Let them pull up and give you a free water test before the hot summer months fully roll in. You don't want contaminated drinking water entering your body. You also don't want that bad mineral water bouncing off your shower doors, going through your water heater, adding or really taking life away from your water heater, because that heating element's going to pick up those minerals and it's going to burn out quicker. There's so many reasons why Culligan can help you, but find out yourself by going to Culligan.com, scheduling a free water test, and giving yourself a chance at a brighter future and a more healthier walk. Culligan.com. Water. It's essential to the soul. Let Culligan help you improve your lifestyle there. Culligan.com. Yes, C-Cat. I'm going to stop teasing it, and we'll give it on the other side. These words from Dwayne Wade is what exactly helped me realize not only Jimmy Butler would be departing this year, and it happened, but also the Heat are unwilling to give up Bam Adebayo. Can we listen to the first end of it? Because I don't want to keep the audience waiting here. When Dwayne Wade in October had his statue unveiled, he spoke to the masses, and during that speech, everybody hung on to his words when he said a house divided will not stand. Yes, that was about Jimmy Butler. That's why I told you Jimmy is not going to be a Heat player past this year. They got rid of him before the trade deadline. Another thing he did was he mentioned only one Heat player by name in his 15-minute speech. That was Bam Adebayo. Following that speech, we had a reporter ask him why he mentioned Bam's name. Take a listen to what he and the Heat brass think about what Bam means to this franchise.
I mentioned Alonzo Mourning. I mentioned Udonis Haslem. I mentioned myself. And then I mentioned Bam. To mention Bam with those likes, that's respect. Because we see him as, someone who's going to continue to, take on everything that we learned here and everything that we've passed on for this organization to be successful. And you don't have those players. They don't come around often. You have a lot of talented players come around. You have people that do great things, but you don't have cornerstone individuals that can take your culture and keep it going.
His words on Bam are exactly why, and again, that was before the season started. We'll see what the Heat think going forward. Exactly why I do think he will remain untouchable, and Giannis is likely not going to end up in Miami. If Bam becomes available, maybe we make that shake. Happy hour and the get around on the other side here on Theoretically Speaking. And I'm just a sad Heat fan. If you're like me, don't worry. I will calm down on the Heat talk on the other side as well. That's C-Cat. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
As market dynamics change, the quality of service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver where others can't. Visit anchin.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
Hi, this is Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. We are a Florida civil trial law firm that specializes in the areas of personal injury and wrongful death. Our offices are located in Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie. Our lawyers have litigated thousands of matters at the Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River County courthouses. Our lawyers, paralegals, and other numerous members of our legal team live in Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast cities and towns such as West Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, Lake Worth, Palm Beach Gardens, Palm City, Jupiter, and others just like you and your families. We are a statewide recognized law firm, but it is your community and your families that we live and associate with on a daily basis. Our most satisfying achievement is when we know that our legal power has helped a fellow member of our Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast community secure a fair and just huge result. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Introducing the bold, the powerful, the all-new 2025 Range Rover Sport P530 Dynamic SE. A luxury SUV that commands attention with its refined design, dynamic performance, and cutting-edge technology. Lease the 2025 Range Rover Sport for just $15.29 per month for 36 months. Drive in style, power, and comfort, all for just $15.29 a month. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and take the new Range Rover Sport for a spin. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Is your air or water flowing perfectly in your home? If the answer is no, EDS is yes. Theo here, and for me, EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing is my go-to, and it should be yours too. EDS is Palm Beach County's trusted AC and plumbing expert. They'll make sure your air and water flow perfectly. EDS is a trained comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. Go to EDSIsYes.com. That's EDSIsYes.com. When comfort matters, EDS is yes.
What would you do with an extra $700? You can earn up to $700 per year with Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Boost Checking pays 7.0 annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's up to $700 extra to do what you love. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit one checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, proud partner of Florida Atlantic University Athletics.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
While it's not always possible to see contaminated water coming out of the faucet, the taste is difficult to ignore. And what about plastics and pharmaceuticals now in the water? The team at Culligan is here to help. Culligan offers water testing and reverse osmosis systems designed to filter out those contaminants right at the source. Culligan has been helping the local community with water issues since 1936. Schedule your appointment today at Culligan.com.
Hey, Culligan
Join ESPN West Palm and Coors Light Wednesday, April 30th from 7 to 9 at Charlie's Neighborhood Bar and Grill in Stewart as the Panthers take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Enjoy ice-cold Coors Light buckets for $15 and $2.75 drafts during all Panthers playoff games. Score big with giveaways, including signed Panthers memorabilia, courtesy of Palm Beach Autographs. Must be 21 or older to participate. Coors Brewing Company reminds you to please drink responsibly.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Trans World Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell it.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
Good people. Uh-oh. There's an imposter among us. It's your boy Theo Dorsey. The happy hour. We're live here on ESPN 106.3. Theoretically speaking, a top 5 Tuesday. I just gave my top 5 Miami Heat targets this offseason as we look to retool, rebuild for the future. Tina's here. Tina's here for the happy hour. What up, Tina?
Hello. I was trying to say, but my mic wasn't turned on yet.
Didn't have to share that.
I'm a little freaked out. Well, I was talking. If you're looking on the stream, I'm like going crazy. I'm just pointing fingers and everything.
Audience.
Yes.
You got to make sure that everyone knew it wasn't her fault.
Yes.
It wasn't my fault.
But you're a little freaked out by C-Cat who's on the other side of the glass.
I'm a little freaked out of something that he put on his face.
He's on the ones and the twos, and he's got a ski mask on. He's got a little shiesty action going. What the hell? What's that? What gives, C-Cat?
So we were given these to wear under our helmets when we rode K1 Speed in Riviera Beach today.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a very good video put out in the near future about our trials and tribulations in the go-kart.
We're not allowed to say who won. I believe you know who won, Tina, at this point. So
let's just avoid that subject because.
I was making sure Tina knew that she's not allowed to say it.
I actually have no idea who won.
Okay, good. So we're not allowed to say who won. But when we do finally say who won, we'll give them a little party. How about that? Party
that sounds
for the winner?
Good to me. Yeah. And shout out K1 Speed. They did a great job with us. Let us in an hour before they opened.
Yeah.
We had a great time.
It was really smooth though, man. Like I haven't gone go-karting in literally, it's probably been like a decade. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Because honestly, it hasn't been one of those things I just thought of to go out and do. But it's a really fun activity, man.
Yeah, I'm kind of desensitized and from the go-kart track. Spent 5 years working at a go-kart track.
Yeah.
Was labeled the go-kart guy.
Wait, who labeled you that? Did they label you that at the go-kart track? Because wouldn't that be weird?
Well, that's what everyone who worked go-karts would call it. But
okay.
I was kind of like, I initiated the new hires. I left my, like those photo booths that prints out like 4 different pictures that you
Yes.
take in a photo booth.
Right.
There's still a piece of me left of that go-kart track in upstate New York.
A piece of you or a photo?
Photo.
Okay.
Is the piece of me.
Okay.
But yeah, I cut my teeth
Making
there.
sure.
High school job, college job. I went through it all at that go-kart track, so I walked in with a little bit more experience than anyone else.
He did. And CCAT, it was the annoying person who did not let us hear the end of it.
Oh,
like the
gosh.
moment we walked into K1 in Riviera Beach, was, by the way, amazing facility, a little ducked off, hidden treasure. Moment we walk in there, we're meeting people, we're shaking hands, and CCAT's like, I used to work at a go-kart place. They call me the go-kart guy.
Exactly. Talking to the employees like, so what these babies at? Like,
He's
kind of horsepower.
He's trying to talk. He's trying to talk up all of his skill there. Meanwhile, we have an actual pro F4 driver with us who, he actually knew what the hell he was doing. And CCAT, I don't think your expertise in go-karting, I don't know how much that played into it.
We'll see. We'll see when the video comes out.
Maybe if we needed somebody to help direct everybody through the tracks and get everybody strapped in and put their helmets on, you would have been really good at that.
I'm good at the no bumping. No bump.
He was telling us not to bump before we even put our helmets on.
Exactly. So many different, maybe 6-year-old birthday parties or after work happy hour ventures that I've had to tell people of all shapes and sizes, of all ages and backgrounds, don't bump on the go-kart track. So I fell right in. It felt back at home telling everyone to stop bumping.
And then inevitably he bumped me in the first,
of course.
in the very first race. Or you didn't necessarily bump me. You spinned out and made me bump you on accident.
But I apologized.
Thank you. My question to you is, though, you talked about bad accidents. I always get a little freaked out whenever we're doing like extreme type sports like that. Like go-karting can get a little dangerous. Like I've heard of actual fatalities from go-kart. Now, of course, that didn't happen this morning, or else we probably wouldn't be talking on the air right now. But have you, back at your old digs, 5 years running, did you ever have any like bad accidents?
Nothing that was that bad. The danger in some go-karts is if you don't tie your hair up and you're a woman and you have long hair, and get sucked into the engine. Like if it's a gas go-kart, and it'll scalp a lady.
Wow.
Yeah, for real. No.
Into the engine? How long your hair got to be? Like Rapunzel?
Really, if your hair goes past your shoulders, you're in danger of that.
How? The engine is so far from you.
And that was a gas go-kart, so maybe it's more risk at the place that I was at in high school versus these, which were electric, so maybe there's different. But yeah, that was the danger, and we made sure everyone tied their hair up. No exceptions. You had to. But
tied their hair up.
Yeah.
Their hair.
There were some accidents where babies would cry and all that, and you wouldn't take them seriously.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'd bounce off the track. That was almost exciting to see, because that person was that bad and that reckless that they were able to damage our carts. It didn't come out of our paycheck, and we can make fun of them and kick them off the track.
You're right. I also worry about whiplash or concussions with go-karting. That's an underrated thing to be on the lookout for. When your head goes, you know what I'm saying? You hit the curb and your head goes the other way, which happened to me low-key this morning at one point, but I was able to have enough neck strength to keep things, you know what I'm saying?
That's true. Say all you want about Theo Dorsey. He's got neck strength.
He's got it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy for
It's
you.
the one thing I can't say is that you have a weak neck. No, you have a strong neck, Theo. Of those type of games or activities that's for kids, teenagers, young adults, old adults, where everyone can enjoy it.
Yeah.
You got like go-karts, you got mini golf. What are some other stuff like that, and what reigns supreme?
Laser tag is low-key undefeated, bro.
Oh.
Laser tag is like my stuff, though. I really like a good game of laser tag.
I don't know, because they have like no running rules.
No. Not the place. There's a place back home. And I guess there might be a no running rule, but who's following that? You know what I'm saying?
I guess I am. And that's why it greatly diminishes my excitement of it. Because, like, what's laser tag if you can't run around?
So go-karts are up there. So laser tag, go-karts, I guess bowling would be an activity.
Yes.
What about paintball?
Paintball is, I feel like it's another one.
I've never played. I would love to, but I'm too scared.
That was my birthday about 3 years ago, was paintball.
Yeah.
Me and my
I used
girlfriend.
to be afraid to paintball.
We showed up.
Yeah.
It hurts. I went one time.
I bruise easily.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have bruises everywhere.
I wore like a Letterman jacket with another like long sleeve under, and it still was like pounding me. I was like, oh no, this is not my steez.
That's true. And I think it is in a different category because you can't just show up and decide you want to play paintball when you wake up in the morning on Saturday. But you can do that with mini golf or go-karts or laser tag.
Yeah.
Paintball, you got to have that circled on your calendar, and you got to get 5 or 6 different people to commit to it.
Okay.
I would argue yes. I would argue that paintball is a much different kind of commitment. But we're talking. This is leisure games. Laser tag is in there. Bowling is in there.
Love
Is skating in there? It's not really a competition.
No, roller skating's in there.
Yeah.
Roller skating's in there?
I think either or.
The other ones have a competitive edge to it. You're not racing your buddies when you're roller skating in a skating rink. You shouldn't be, at least.
That's true, but I know guys who got way too deep into roller skating, where they show up to the roller rink every single weekend.
Yeah,
they would help close up.
That. My little brother does that actively out there in San Marcos. He at Texas State. He's a big time skater.
Does he do tricks?
He can. He can skate backwards. He can do little things here. My mom is a huge skating nut. Her one thing growing up as a kid out in Houston, her one thing was Sunday nights she goes and skates. No matter what else was happening. Sunday morning we going to church. Sunday night she's going and skating. Anything else during the week is flexible, but that you weren't messing with skate time.
I love that.
You wouldn't mess with, and she would drive an hour for this skating rink that she loved that was on the other side of Houston. She had to leave the house at 7:30, get there about 8:30, right in time, and she would skate all night long.
Well, yeah, if you're driving an hour, you got to get the most bang for your buck.
She gets it in. And
you got to open up and close it down.
My little bro picked that up from her. I, on the other hand, used to go to the skating rink growing up, and we used to not rent the skates, and the skating rink would just turn into a teen club, and everybody would be partying and dancing.
That is so fascinating to me, where people would just be on street shoes on the rink and just stand and do a teen club thing.
Yeah. I mean, it was dope. It was actually perfect if you think about it. The lighting, the DJ is right there. If nobody else is skating, then you would look like a fool, laced up, rolling around. And generally what would happen is people would skate for the first hour or so and then, put them down, dance a little bit, get some food in, a little grub, get hopped up on some soda and get it in.
Now, does snorkeling count? I know we're regional, so people can snorkel, people can surf.
Have you ever snorkeled?
I have. No. I tried it. I went through a phase 2 years ago when I first moved down here. And I just don't know how to breathe through a snorkel. I am just really bad at it.
I don't consider that because I feel like you have to buy your own snorkel gear, find a spot to do it.
You can just go you can rent snorkel gear.
You can?
Yeah, you might as well just buy it. It's $15.
You bought yours?
Yes.
I snorkeled and I did not own the stuff that I used. I don't know what the process was again. I can't remember, but
they have
it on Peanut Island.
They have an underwater snorkeling trail right on that bridge in Riviera Beach, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But I was not able to experience it. I looked at the pictures online. That's how I know it's really cool, because I just could not figure out breathing on a snorkel. I would get spit in it, and then I'd try to blow it out, and I would be really bad at it.
Like something else. All right.
But you can just snorkel easily?
Yeah, I could, but I didn't like it. So the problem with me and snorkeling is I forgot that when you do go to these high active snorkeling areas, the reason they do that is because there's a lot of little fishes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of little fishes
You're
swimming
not
all
alone.
around. And I'm cool walking through the water oftentimes, but when you see all of the fish and they're just it was hundreds. I was expecting to look down in the water and it'd be it's 6 or 7 fish, and I could see them from afar, and I'd look at them, they look at me, and I'd be like, hey man, and they'd be say something off the Finding Nemo movie, and I thought we could go about our days. No, I went underwater and it was a school of them, just all running, and it was like they were running into me, but they weren't touching me. The fish were not hitting me, but I thought they were. My mind was telling me that they were touching me, so then my nerves got bad. So when I took my head out of the water and I knew what was in the water, all I could think is, am I being stampeded by 1,000 fish?
Well, the little fish are not the problem. It's what is causing the fish to run away.
That's true.
Because they're running in your direction. You're going to have a big fish, and then a bigger fish eats that fish, and then you get sharks.
By the time they start, Russian dolling each other, I can get out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I peruse Facebook more than I should, and there's this guy. I think his name is Paul Dable.
Huh.
Paul Dable Photography.
Is he related to Brian?
No.
Okay.
Different spelling of the name. But he has these drones that both go above the water, where you see from afar, where you can see the big stingrays and the sharks and the manatees. But he has an underwater, I guess it's not a drone, but a camera that gets dropped to an anchor underwater. We are by a lot of sharks, and they get really close to the shore. And it greatly diminished my enjoyment of the sea, because I realized how populated the sharks are in Jupiter, in West Palm. We are not alone. Just so you know, that's a PSA.
Are you telling me, C-Cat? C-Cat, are you telling me there's sharks in the ocean outside of the state of Florida?
Listen, the pendulum swung, because when Shark Week was really big on Discovery, people had shark fever. And when Jaws was released in the 70s and 80s, people were hyper scared of sharks. When we looked at the stats, there weren't that many. More people got killed by their own refrigerators than sharks. But
how's that even a real stat? How are you getting killed by your refrigerator?
Or
Unless his
vending
name
machines.
is Perry.
I think it is. I think it's a true stat.
What are vending machines falling on people?
Yes.
How?
How?
By
people are shaking them?
Yes. If you spend your $2.50 on a bag of chips and it spins that little spindle thing and the chip doesn't fall, you grab it up top and you shake it, and some people get a little bit over enthusiastic and it falls them and it hurts/kills them.
That shouldn't kill you though, right?
If you're too small of a person, maybe. But yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got just so sidetracked. Okay, I'm sorry.
In the past, sharks'
somehow
danger
Seacat,
was greatly exaggerated. I think it's under-exaggerated now.
Somehow you have discovered that there's sharks in the ocean. And I'm actually more compelled with trying to figure out who's the guy's name? Brian Dayball's cousin?
Paul Dayball.
He taught you about how there's sharks in the water?
Yeah, he's perusing the coast every single day, and he shows where these sharks are and how many there are. Great whites, tigers, a lot of them.
Yeah. Have you heard about this? There's sharks in the water.
No, I've never heard this.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Seacat, breaking news over here. Hey, if you're out there listening and you're in the state of Florida, sharks might be in the ocean.
But they might be closer than you think. You don't have to go to the deep end. You could be in waist-high water off the coast of Florida, and you could be just mere feet away from a shark.
Wow.
And you wouldn't even know unless you had a drone.
Have y'all ever been invited to a virtual coffee?
What?
Somebody just emailed me an invite to a virtual coffee. And that got me.
You make your own coffee, they make your own coffee, but you meet on camera?
So they invite you to a FaceTime?
I don't know. It says a virtual coffee with Uncle Chuck. I don't know who that is. I'll figure out later. But it made me think. It's got my appetite going because Tina's in the house. It's the happy hour. And why do a virtual coffee when you could do an in-person cocktail of the day?
That is true.
At Theoretically Speak.
Today's cocktail is from last night, the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Yes. What a game at the end. And I'm sure the Tampa Bay Lightning might have been drinking after that loss the Bolt Lightning cocktail. This is white rum, ginger beer, lime juice, and a lime wedge.
Very citrusy.
Good. That's actually that's like a mule. Like a rum mule.
Yeah. It's called the Bolt Lightning.
The Bolt Lightning.
So, Tina, did you go to the game last night? I know you were down there on Sunrise beforehand.
I did go to the game last night. It was awesome. It was amazing.
Any other details from the game?
It was Colin Russo's first Florida Panthers game.
Wow.
So he finally got to experience the Panthers Pulse, their song, which I'm obsessed with and regularly play in my car to myself. But no, it was great. I had a hot dog. I had a margarita while I was there.
Yeah.
And overall, great game.
Carter Verhaeghe got a goal.
Yeah.
Big Carter Verhaeghe guy.
Are you?
Yeah. Like he's my favorite Panther.
Why is that?
Just like saying his name. Just like the Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe's a really solid sports name. Carter also great sports name. You pair the two together. Carter Verhaeghe, the dude is a monster. Last year during the Stanley Cup final playoff run, I called it a few times ahead of games in which he scored a goal. And that made some people that tailed me very rich. So I will say, big Carter Verhaeghe guy. Sue me.
So this is the song that plays like if the goal is scored at Amerant Bank Arena from the Panthers, this is what it sounds like. And then the music kicks in eventually here.
Yes. The best song.
Are there like words to it?
Go, Cats, go.
Okay.
It's great.
It's good. Now
I sat next to an amazing Florida Panthers fan.
Really?
He was so into the game. He was just, the F-bomb was going left and right out of him.
Wow.
Because he was so mad at the refs. And then, we got a goal taken away. He was furious. But then every time they scored, he was just shouting and jumping up and down. It was awesome. I love that.
I will say, out of all of the major 4 professional sports in America, football, basketball, hockey, and baseball, who do you think complains the least amount about refs? I would say hockey fans. They complain. Everybody complains.
I don't know. There's a lot of contact in hockey where there could be a hooking call or a hit that's illegal on every single play, depending on the official.
We can agree the NFL fans are the worst when it comes to complaining about refs.
I think baseball.
Really, the umps get the worst.
think about how many calls they have to make.
Every pitch.
Every pitch is a call being made unless it's a swing and a miss.
Okay, so baseball's up there. Football is second.
But we've gone Super Bowls without any mention of the referees. Not every
Only
Super Bowl.
blowouts. Every close Super Bowl, people blame it on the ref. Anytime the football game is within one possession, there's like 8 penalties that people are highlighting on Twitter about why their team lost.
I guess so.
Maybe I hear less complaining out of hockey fans about referees because I hear less hockey fans.
What about like youth athletic leagues?
It's like a per capita thing. It's hard to judge. What'd you say?
Youth athletic leagues? Like that's
from
the
top of the list.
Youth league, no matter what the sport is,
Doesn't
they're going to complain
matter.
about the ref. Because
Yeah.
nobody holds their kids accountable.
No.
Nobody does. Their kid is the shining light and the brightest and best thing that's ever happened to this earth, and the refs are the devil, according to any youth football or basketball or baseball parent. They're the worst. I would say they're the worst in baseball, though, in youth sports as well.
Yeah, travel ball.
Personal.
Travel ball was AAU basketball before AAU basketball existed. Travel ball has been going on for a long time, and it goes from like going down to Myrtle Beach when you're from the Northeast to where you're not just playing on one baseball team when you're in the middle of the season when it's only summertime. Like, you and those parents suck. They're really bad.
Parents are the worst. I think travel baseball might be the worst set of parents. High school baseball is a close second, and then you start working your way into the other major sports. A little bit less in football, but you still get it. Basketball is bad because, again, more judgment calls that are more obvious where people in the viewing area in the stands feel like they know what should have happened versus what the ref saw. Okay, NBA playoffs still going on tonight. We got the Pacers and the Bucks. Is this the last game Giannis will ever play in a Milwaukee Bucks uniform? As a Heat fan, I only hope so if he ends up coming to Miami. We also got Knicks Pistons. Will Cade Cunningham and the Pistons be able to stave off elimination? They'll have to do so on the road. And if you are paying attention to the NBA in a way in which that might be unhealthy to your own well-being, you might be locked in on Magic Celtics, the 2-7 matchup in the East. The Celtics can close them out. They'll be able to do so at home. Game 5, Boston looking to defend their title. C-Cat, we'll get the Get Around coming up here right now, but who is bringing us the Get Around today?
The Get Around is being brought to us by where Tina works out.
Wow.
Where does Tina work out?
I don't know. And who's Teeny?
I don't know.
I was going espresso martini and Tina at the same time.
Got a little convoluted.
It's okay.
It's okay.
That's a big word for Alma. F45 was there this morning. I did today because I went to the game last night, a 6:15 class. It was packed. It was awesome. It was, that was a little late for me. I had to rush a bit in the morning to get ready, so I'm going to stick to my 5:15.
Please.
But they've got times for everyone. You want to do a 5:15 a.m., 6:15, 7:30, maybe an 8:45, maybe a noon workout, the evening 4, 5. They've got options for everyone. 45-minute workout. You're in, you're out. You don't have to think about it. Walk right in. They tell you what to do. You need some modifications. There's a trainer there to help you. F45 Palm Beach Gardens, F45 West Palm Beach. Check out their Instagram pages to see the specials that they've got going on, or go to f45training.com to find a location near you.
Speaking of late nights, I would be remiss if I didn't also announce again tonight on TNT, 10 o'clock tip, Clippers Nuggets. That series tied at 2 apiece. They are back in Denver, the Nuggets, looking to take a lead in this series after it felt like they were down and out.
Now, that was the best sporting event I watched all weekend. I know it's Tuesday, but that finish at the buzzer, ridiculous.
Been the best
I can't
series.
wait for that game.
Clippers Nuggets has been the best series. Lakers Timberwolves has been very exciting and thrilling. Warriors Rockets. We didn't get a chance to talk much about that, but they've had some really good down the stretch endings there. So this is a very strong NBA postseason, very strong opening round. I've been enjoying every bit of it. ESPN is reporting it's the most watched through 11 games NBA playoffs in the history of them broadcasting games. So again, everybody's happy right now. Everybody eats. On the other side,
except for Heat fans. Heat fans are not happy right now. How can you compartmentalize that quickly? We just did 55 minutes of how bad it is to be a Heat fan right now.
I get it.
Everybody's not eating.
Right. It's just
Heat fans are hungry.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thanks a lot. It's Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Get ready to elevate your driving experience with the all-new 2025 Range Rover Velar P250 Dynamic SE. A stunning blend of luxury performance and technology that will make every drive unforgettable. Right now, you can lease the new Velar for just $809 per month for 36 months. Yes, only $809 a month for a luxury SUV that sets new standards on the road. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Cruise the campus, explore the circuit, experience F1 Miami like never before. Your general admission ticket to the 2025 Formula One Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix is here. Immerse yourself in the action with unparalleled access to different campus zones. Enjoy thrilling activities, live entertainment, and endless food and beverage options while witnessing the race, all for less than $150 per day. Visit F1MiamiGP.com to secure your spot at the 2025 Formula One Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's the Hard Rock Bet Battle of the Bets. 2 bets facing off. Winning side splits $250K in bonus bets every single day. Time to pick a side. Team underdogs or team favorites. Team over or team under. There's one way to settle this. Hard Rock Bet Battle of the Bets. Pick a side for $1. Win your share of $250K or more today. Prize pool to be paid out in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
It's Work Zone Awareness Week, Florida. Every year, lives are lost in work zones because of speeding and distractions. When you see orange cones, remember, slow down, follow the signs, and stay focused. Workers are counting on you to get home safely, and so are their families. Let's work together to prevent crashes and save lives. A safety reminder from the Florida Department of Transportation. Slow your roll. Safety's the goal.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news and stats to placing bets in just a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code JOEQ to get started today. That's JOEQ, JOEQ. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
Want to watch Carter Verhaeghe rip it up, scorch the net some more? How about this? How about you watch it with the good people. Looking for somewhere to watch the Panthers tomorrow night? Join ESPN West Palm and Coors Light tomorrow, April 30th. It's April 30th tomorrow. Wow. From 7 to 9 at Charlie's Neighborhood Bar and Grill in Stewart as the Florida Panthers take on their in-state rivals, the Tampa Bay Lightning, looking to close out the deal. Enjoy ice-cold Coors Light buckets for $15 and $2.75 drafts during all Panthers playoff games. Score big with giveaways, including signed Panthers memorabilia courtesy of Palm Beach Autographs. You must be 21 or older to participate. Coors Brewing Company reminds you to please drink responsibly. It's going to be hard to do so when you're hearing that Panthers music following a big-time Cats goal. What do they call the song again, Tina?
Panthers Pulse.
Panthers Pulse.
Go, Cats, go.
Nice. That's nice. It's really nice. Go Cats, go. Huh. Are you a Panthers fan because they got Cat? They go by the Cats?
My second team in the NHL. First team's the Capitals, looking strong, playing tonight.
Why the Capitals?
Yeah, that confuses me.
Born in Maryland, and that's kind of the hockey team in that area. And
Are you born in Maryland?
Yeah,
that's never come up before. Every time we talk about your origins, it's I'm a New Yorker.
Well, that's
I'm
why
I'm a New Yorker. That's what you always say.
That's why I gravitated to the Ravens, and then like you said, birthright. It's kind of like the same thing with you in Kansas City.
Okay,
I moved to New York and grew up in New York from like ages 5 all the way until high school.
I'm a New Yorker. I watched the trees turn brown.
I benefit from my citizenship. You know, like how some people, like you come to the U.S., you're born here, so you have some certain rights. My fandom rights varies by my states.
It's the concrete jungle.
Since I grew up in New York, I have right to be a fan of any New York team like the Nets and the Yankees.
Yes.
And since I was born in that Mason-Dixon line area,
Did you north or south of the Mason-Dixon line?
I forget. South, because Maryland is south of the Mason-Dixon line.
Right. So why'd you call it the Mason-Dixon line area? Is it close to the line? Is that what your town is known for that you were born in?
Kind of, yeah.
Mine is known for the Kansas-Missouri Compromise.
Oh, okay.
Similar timeline as the Mason-Dixon line. What city from Maryland are you from?
I think I was born on the military base, but I grew up in...
Annapolis?
No. Different military base. Air Force Base.
Okay.
But grew up in 2 different towns, Hughesville and Waldorf.
Oh, Waldorf guy.
Yeah, certainly.
All right. So that's where you get your Capitals fandom. You have the birthright, but anytime I bring up me being a Chiefs fan and having the birthright, I get ridiculed. That's fine.
Not by me.
Okay, thank you. You're right. You haven't done that.
Because I have a glass house here. I can't be throwing stones about fandom, about who can be a fan of who, because that comes right at me the next time.
Right. And you're a New Yorker, baby. New Yorker.
Let's go there first on the get around, please.
Okay.
I beg of you.
Are you a New Yorker? Do you like the Knicks? What else do they say? Bing bong. Right? I've never heard him say bing bong. How can you be a New Yorker and not say bing bong?
I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm a Nets fan.
Oh, okay.
You say, I'm walking here.
I'm walking here. I like that. Okay, where are we going?
Next stop.
Our first stop of the get around brings us to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Because that's where the NFL draft was last weekend. Following the NFL draft, the NFL rookie jersey sales are out. Nice. AKA, which recently drafted football player has sold the most jerseys? Do either of you have any guess at who went number 1?
Travis Hunter.
You got it.
There we go. Heisman winner, Palm Beach County native, Boynton Beach Bulldogs' very own Travis Hunter. Big shouts.
Who went number 2?
Don't tell me. I know it's not Cam Ward. Is this Shedeur Sanders? Okay.
It is Cam Ward.
Okay. Nashville. What do the Titans fans call themselves?
Tighten up. That's all. That's their hashtag. Tighten up.
Nashville faithful.
But surprising, right? Quarterback going second when he's clearly going to be the franchise quarterback, and you're going to get 2 or 3 years of Cam Ward.
That Colorado hype, though.
That's true.
And also, I figured, Jacksonville's a very robust city. They got a big population.
And who went number 3 in terms of most jerseys sold for a recently drafted player in the NFL?
It wasn't Jackson Dart. It's got to be Shedeur. That's crazy. A 5th rounder.
And do not hold your breath. Shedeur Sanders will still climb up this list because there was 2 days that separated.
Right.
2 days where he could not have had his jersey purchased because the Browns didn't select him yet. So Shedeur Sanders maybe, just maybe, might eclipse not only Cam Ward at number 2, but he might be the number 1 jersey seller this time, maybe next week.
He'll pass up Cam Ward. We know that much. It's going to be tough to beat out Travis Hunter. But what I can say is it's kind of worth the 5th-round pick. Get a Brown.
Jersey sales?
It's kind of worth the 5th-round pick. The jersey sales alone. I mean, who else were you going to get with that 5th-rounder? Like a special teams linebacker? You know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead and get Shedeur, sell some jersey. This was obviously a thing that the owners induced Andrew Berry, the GM, to go and do anyways. So, yeah, I'm not even mad at them for getting Shedeur in the 5th round. I wonder how Dylan Gabriel's jersey sales are going up.
He is not in the top 10.
Damn.
The other notable names, number 4, Ashton Genty. Of course, going to be that franchise running back for the Raiders going forward, especially with we know how he likes to run the football there in Las Vegas. McMillan from the Panthers.
They got another option.
I don't know how to pronounce that name, honestly. Tetaroa?
Tetaroa.
Tetaroa?
You can call him T-Mac. Actually, you can't call him T-Mac.
And then
I grew up on T-Mac.
Both first-rounders from the Giants went 6 and 7. Dart at 6, Abdul Carter at 7.
Wow, so Dart over Carter.
Quarterback.
I'm surprised. I don't care.
That is surprising because there's more likely to have a Pro Bowler in Abdul Carter and someone who's going to be on the Giants maybe 6 years from now, sign a second contract, than there is Jackson Dart.
More longevity to that jersey. Like, Jackson Dart could be out of a job by next year. Abdul Carter is going to be a 10-year mainstay for the Giants. Interesting.
Next stop.
We are in Black Creek, Mississippi.
Jeez. Oh, get me the hell out of there.
Next
Is that a
stop?
sundown town?
We got to stop. No. They have great gas station food. That's
Okay.
where Black Creek, Mississippi.
Like, you can't just be bringing me to Black Creek, Mississippi unannounced.
That's where Brett Favre lives.
Oh, absolutely not. Get me the hell out of here.
Next stop.
Well, Netflix said the complete opposite of that. They said, get me the hell in here, because they went and shot the, quote, Fall of Favre.
Oh, wow.
It is a documentary telling the story of Brett Favre's both his pursuit of Jen Sturger, that big controversy when he was with the Jets, and his involvement in the Mississippi welfare case. This will be debuting on May 20th on Netflix. The trailer's already out.
Is this the purporter he was sexting?
Yes, that is that situation I'm referring to.
The unrequited sexting of Brett Favre. Also, yeah, him stealing money from the in Mississippi is one of the places that needs it the most. But
allegedly.
Him stealing money allegedly from...
That's not being facetious. We actually do have to say that on this case.
I know. I'm sorry. I think things are still being... litigated. The due process, if you will, unless an executive order comes out of nowhere. So allegedly, the stealing of the money from the welfare recipients of Mississippi. The weird thing about this whole Favre journey is it seems like Aaron Rodgers at every turn is trying to redo the Favre career. The pump faking retirement, the holding the franchise over the barrel every single offseason, the going to the Jets, and then trying to go to Minneapolis, but the Vikings said, we don't necessarily want you. He feels like he's trying to walk in his footsteps. The question is Rodgers going to watch this and be like, oh, no, I can top that?
I was going to say, it's a little bit unfair to bring up Aaron Rodgers in this case, because there's not been allegations or legal trouble with Aaron Rodgers and confirmed texts being sent for Aaron Rodgers unsolicited.
I am not saying Aaron Rodgers is a bad human being or has done any of the vile things Brett Favre has done. I'm saying he's emulated a lot of what Brett Favre has done before. And before Favre had retired, we didn't necessarily know all of the deep things he got into on the other end. I'm not saying Rodgers will. I'm telling him, hey, use this as more of a warning sign. If I keep following this dude Favre and doing everything he did, it could lead me in a pretty bad direction. The difference is at least Favre won on the back end of his career. Rodgers has been a missile.
He is still a free agent.
47 days. 47 days since Aaron Rodgers had been cut by the Jets, still without a home. At the very least, he's not being investigated for stealing, from welfare recipients in Mississippi. That would be worse.
Next stop.
Brooklyn, New York.
Are you going to watch that, by the way, before we go to Brooklyn? Are y'all going to watch this Favre documentary?
Of course. I love documentaries.
Yeah.
I just never get around to doing it. I always hear about how good documentaries are, and I never... Because I'm always in the middle of a show. Like right now, I'm watching Lost. I need to power through season 1 of Lost.
Is it Lost over?
Yeah. Lost, was shot in 2004.
Okay.
Lost has been done for a while.
Right.
And I've watched it twice already. This is my third time. I love Lost. I'm not going to pause my watching of
You've
my
seen it already,
show.
though. Yeah.
Because I know how good it gets. Okay. I'm not going to pause that to watch a documentary. That's why I'm probably not going to watch it with Brett Favre.
I understand that. I will say, too, before we keep going on the get around here, Naked and Afraid.
Yeah.
What the hell is that? Is it like survival, but sexy? Is that supposed to be the thing? What is this supposed to be? What's
sexy.
Naked and Afraid?
Yeah, I don't think it's sexy at all.
I hear commercials about it. I never pay attention to the screen when it's happening. Can you explain Naked and Afraid to me, please?
Well, yeah, just like think of Bear Grylls or Survivor Man vs. Wild, but think of people who are not on this every single episode, who got pulled from all walks of life
and they're all
want
naked.
to do this challenge, and they're paired together and they're stripped of all their clothes.
What's the point of them being naked?
It's another added layer of vulnerability, both in the wilds and with another person.
Are they allowed to like clothe themselves in what they find in nature, or do they have to remain naked? Is that part of the show?
Yeah, sometimes they like do that string with a leaf over their parts. Yeah.
I just did an x-ray at my chiropractor the other day, and they put like the little guard over like, you know, my man parts. And I was a little bit angry because it was like a small shield.
Yeah.
It was a very small shield, and I was confused.
Radiation into the reach around?
Right. I was like, hold on a second, man. Like, get a bigger shield for the boy. I'm not saying
something airtight.
Yeah, I need, if you're going to shield my, you know, the family jewels, I need you to give me a huge shield to make sure everything is tightly protected there. It was like a little bitty, like a little, like a major nacho chip. You know what I'm saying? It's not big enough. But mainly because it's a lot of, you know, I want a family plan and all of that. Just next time you're at a doctor's office and they're doing an x-ray and they're going to do the little thing down there, just give them, you know, ask for a bigger size.
Next.
Makes me nervous. It made me more nervous to have a small thing right there than the thing that, okay.
Brooklyn, New York's our final stop of the get-around.
X-rays are dangerous.
The home of the 2025 NBA Draft. It's in Brooklyn in late June. Only 106 players entered the 2025 NBA Draft per the NBA. That's the lowest number of early entrants since 2015. Listen, the peak of that number was 336, and now it's down to 106. And that peak was just before the NIL era officially began.
Yes.
What does this mean?
This means good. This means well. This means that most of the programs that we're going to see come time for March Madness are going to have veterans, are going to have college basketball players that are not one and done, not two and, but like seasoned, been through the tournament, been through the rigors of what we've seen these other guys go through this past March. Even look at the team that was crowned champions. Like those are experienced dudes. Auburn had a dude that was like 26 years old, and he even entered the transfer portal and stayed back in college basketball. I like the fact that college basketball at the highest level, and it's going to continue to trickle down to some of the mid-majors, has more robust talent today and will continue to keep that robust talent because of NIL. The opposite of that is these guys having to leave after 4 or 5 years in college, playing overseas, and we forget about them and never really see another highlight from them again. Keep them here, keep them paid, keep them entertaining us. It's a win-win-win. Stop complaining about NIL, too. This is one of the beauties of it.
People love to complain, especially around sports in general. Of
course.
And I feel like the number one complaint about college basketball specifically was not being familiar with these teams. And now we're getting exactly that.
Yes.
Yes, you can complain about different faces in new places, but you're going to see these guys year in and year out. If they are not the very, very tippy-top Cooper Flag type, they will stay in college, get their bag, and cut their teeth in March Madness.
I got to love it. Me. I'm all in on it. Keep them here. You know? Keep them balling. Keep March Madness interesting.
You know what I don't want to keep interesting is whether or not I can trust my vehicle.
Wow.
I want that to be boring, where I know when I get in, because I'm backed by St. Lucie Battery and Tire, that I trust it. Right, Tina?
That's so specific.
Am I crazy?
Oh,
You're
Tina.
not crazy at all.
That's a specific segue.
So specific.
I like it.
I never have to deal with car issues because I take my vehicle to St. Lucie Battery and Tire. They've been around for over 50 years, are family owned, and care so much about taking care of you. They've got all the big tire brands. And if your battery dies, they've got one for pretty much everything. If you've got a car, if you've got a truck, if you've got a boat, an RV. I love going camping. I grew up going camping all the time. My parents had RVs. They could have gone to St. Lucie Battery and Tire. Even commercial fleets. They have the best price out the door guarantee, so you know you are not overpaying. If you ever get stuck, you never have to worry. They have 24/7 roadside emergency service, which is a lifesaver. I can't even imagine. Like, I freak out. Like, if I'm stuck somewhere, what do I do? Who do I call? St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
Easy.
Next time your car needs something, go see St. Lucie Battery and Tire or check them out at slbt.com.
I got a quick hot take here before we go to the other side.
Spicy, let's go.
6 o'clock tip-off, Pacers, Bucks. Lillard out for the season, out for the near future. The Bucks look hopeless, hapless. I think we get a big Giannis game tonight. I think him going into it knowing that he won't have Lillard, knowing that this is the last chance to extend their season, knowing that all the headlines about the Bucks and Giannis are about where he's going to play next year and not about their chances. I think we get a all-time Giannis game tonight, and the Bucks find a way to win. I think they're 7.5-point dogs right now on Hard Rock Bet. I might have to throw a little 5-ball. Where am I at, CCAT?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. You want the 5 on it.
Yeah,
you're
that's
gonna drop some money.
Right. Can we find it?
We're gonna have to wait on that.
Wow.
We're gonna have to wait on that.
Okay, that's okay. On the other side, we get the last call. Plus, I got 5 on it. It's Theo Dorsey. It's CCAT. It's Tina with Theoretically Speaking in the Happy Hour on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees within the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 24 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and Men's Lacrosse title. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
Hi, I'm Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. As you have likely seen and heard, law firm advertising is at an all-time high. Attorney ads seem to be part of every radio and TV commercial segment. Some firms are even using paid actors and actresses to speak for them. At Smith Ball Baez and Prather, we know that the decision to hire a law firm should never be based on advertisements alone. It is our past results and many positive 5-star reviews that we encourage you to read at smithball.com to learn more about our law firm. We have board-certified lawyers. We have lawyers listed in the best lawyers in America and in super lawyers. But most importantly, we have experienced lawyers located right here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast that are ready to be your advocate and your voice, and fully prepared to start fighting for your legal rights today. Our purpose, legal power. Our mission, huge results. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Hi, Kevin Dalton here from the Unlimited Auto Wash Clubs. Time to start getting your ride ready for summer. Stop by the Unlimited Auto Wash Clubs and try out one of our best wash packages, the Ultimate Plus. It gives you everything your car needs, inside and out, including our ceramic graphene coating. Or try one of our unlimited monthly plans, starting as low as $34.95 a month, or with inside and out plus tire shine starting as low as $49.95 a month. Visit any one of our 6 convenient locations or call 561-WASH-ME-TOO.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem.
Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
Giannis's point player prop on Hard Rock Bet, 32.5. Okay.
That's just points.
Just points, 32.5 points. I looked at the Bucks. Bucks on the money line, plus 275. Put those together. You throw 5 on that, man. And look, 31? That's just saying. I got 5 on that. And this is not advice. This is not me. I'm just telling you what I'm doing because it's a little something to slide on it. That's less than what I would get for a latte. You know what I'm saying? And to see Giannis ball out, go absolutely ballistic, that doesn't feel far-fetched. His season's on the line.
You're getting lattes for less than $5 these days?
I make my own lattes.
No, I'm not.
So, yeah.
I have to be honest. No, not at a store.
Oh, and you said that's less than what I'm paying for a latte.
That is true. Right. Yeah, I said it right.
My bad.
Yeah, so don't try to derail. Don't try to derail my little I got 5 on it moment. Giannis, I can see 40 tonight. I can see 40, like 7 assists, 12, 13 boards, a dominant effort. Now, the thing is, the Pacers have the kind of bodies that have been proven to be able to at least get in the way. The real question is what's going to be imperative for the Bucks tonight. And what feels like an irrelevant game is, can they hit their open shots? So the number if you're looking for Bucks to win and you're trying to parlay a player prop with that, the number might be Giannis's assist number, which he's at 6.5. You go over on the assist, and if the Bucks win, it's going to be because they're knocking down triples when they close in on Giannis. That could be the wave as well. Just saying. I got 5 on it. Less on that, more on this. It's time for us to close it out. Tina's got us right. It's the last call season. It is the last call in the happy hour with Tina here on Theoretically Speaking. But first, it's brought to you by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Is joint pain affecting your quality of life? At Baptist Health Orthopedic Care, our team is experienced in traditional joint replacement surgery, as well as new, less invasive treatments with the goal of returning you to what you love as quickly as possible. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. How are we looking, Tina?
Fill in the blank. 3 words.
All right.
Life is like a go-kart race. You never know what's around the next corner, so...
hit the gas.
No.
Okay.
That was not bad, though.
Proceed with caution.
No.
Use the brake.
No.
Go full throttle.
Close.
Who said this? It's a random person?
Anonymous.
Okay. Life is like a go-kart. You never know what's around the corner.
So
strap in and gas up. It's 3 words.
3 words.
Hit the gas.
I said that one.
It's around, like, it's kind of like that.
Okay.
Hit the brakes.
No.
Don't hit the brakes.
Gas.
Well, if you don't know what's around the corner, you're going to hit the brakes.
No, but if you're going to go full throttle, this is an inspirational quote. I'm going to say, hit it big. Okay.
No.
Okay.
All right.
What is it?
Keep pushing forward.
Keep pushing forward.
That's an awful quote.
Yeah, that's tough.
That means nothing to
help
do with
me
go-kart.
It's inspirational.
Yeah. Russo, go in love, go in peace, go in joy.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need.